I'm Tim Robertson, Editor-in-Chief of Aerospace, and with me is Deputy Editor Steve Bridgewater.
Hi guys.
Welcome to a very special edition of AEROSPACE NOTAM, recorded, well,
by the pool.
By the pool. I think this is first in aerospace podcasting history. We're, as you can see, we're a little bit relaxed this time. We're in a chill-out zone.
We've finished the show for the week, and we're back at the hotel, and we're just getting ready to, well, pack and go home.
Pack and go home.
The last thing to do is tell you all about the fantastic week we've had here in Dubai with some incredible news breaking.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, as you know, aerospace we cover from GA to spaceflight, from airliners to airports, from defence to eVTOLs, and the airshow delivered on all these fronts, didn't it?
Just about everything.
Yeah.
And airports, particularly big airport news to start with, wasn't it?
Big airport news to start with. That had a UK angle with UK airport export finance issues a $3.5 billion expression of interest letter to Al Maktoum International, Dubai World Central, where the airshow actually happens. And that's kind of a guarantee, a kind of a commitment, really, of we think there's going to be lots of growth here.
I think indication of what it means to the UK. You know, the UK Minister for Trade, Chris Bryant, came out and actually handed over the document in person at the show. It was yesterday, wasn't it? So that was Tuesday. So we're recording this on Wednesday night. So it was Tuesday that happened.
Yep.
Just great news. I mean, really good. Good for expansion of the airport. Good for the UK economy.
Yeah, and having the minister there, it's a sign of how important it is, and how kind of high priority it is, and also the links between the UK and UAE in travel and in investment. The UK is the biggest external investor here, foreign investor. So airliner sales have been busy as well. We had a bit of a surprise at the start, didn't we? Maybe.
Yeah, you come to a trade show, you all expect bumper numbers of airshow as airline orders. The manufacturers seem to hold them back in reserve, ready to make their big announcements in front of the media and the world. As we record this, it's Wednesday evening. We reckon 418 aircraft sold so far. That includes MOUs, doesn't include options, and there's also been a few leasing deals as well announced. Yeah. We've not included those. These are MOUs, firm sales, 418, and as you say, a bit of a surprise to start with Emirates, wasn't it? Emirates. So the Boeing really dominated Monday's sales. Airbus came back on Tuesday, but Emirates ordered 65 777-9s. So the 777X. We know they've got on order another 65. Makes them by far the biggest 777 operator. $35 billion order, and this obviously comes on top of the delay, and a little bit of a delay for the 777X, but it's going to be worth the wait. I've seen the interior. We had a bit of a preview earlier in the week of the interior, but it did sort of like people. It was expected. That some of the predictions were A350-1000 from Emirates. That's still not happened. And interestingly, Sir Tim Clark also pushing Boeing to look at maybe a feasibility study on an even bigger 777. So that's 777-10, a stretched version of the 777X, and to meet that needs, really looking to long term to replace the A380.
Yeah. And also in the Emirates group, obviously they've got a low-cost carrier, Fly Dubai. They've signed an MOU for 757 Maxes and additional 75 options.
Yep, and also 150 A321 Neos.
Yeah.
They've hedged their bets, haven't they, on that one?
Yeah.
But that's the first Airbus order we've had from Fly Dubai. Previously on an all Boeing fleet.
Yep.
So I think quite a coup there for Airbus. I think it was. That came through just as we were about to start recording this, wasn't it? So that was the last confirmed order we got on Wednesday. Yeah,
and we also had Gulf Air. So Gulf Air up the road, really, in Bahrain. They had a firm order for 15 Dreamliners. They're expanding. They're part of fleet expansion, option for three more.
Yep. Ethiopian Airlines, a double order for Ethiopian, so they placed an order for 737 Maxes, 11 of those, which they're going to use to boost their network both regionally and internationally. And they also placed an order with, who was it? It was ATR? Yes, no, it was with Airbus, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A350s, so 6 A350-900s, and there was also an ATR order. I thought there was. Ethiopian Airlines ordering 2 ATR 72s, but they're not going to be operated by Ethiopian themselves. They're going to be operated by Air Congo. They're going to be used for domestic routes and domestic connectivity in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So a busy week for the Ethiopian group.
Brilliant. Okay. What about Airbus? What are the highlights from Airbus?
Well, I mean,
so obviously, Fly Dubai
was that really started. I mean, Etihad as well, big order from Etihad. So 7 A350-1000s, that increases their existing A350 fleet. Firm order for 3 A350 freighters.
That's a good boost there.
Freighter doing really well now, I think, isn't it? And a firm order for 6 A330-900 Neos. That's their first A330 Neo order. And they also committed to lease 9 A350-900s from Avalon as well. So big news there for Etihad.
And a new A350 order, sort of customer, Europa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. An A350. 40.
Yeah.
They just keep coming, don't they? Silkway West Airlines, first order for 2 A350 freighters.
Yeah.
And that's firm order. That takes their total to 4. A real mixed bag there of airlines coming in for Airbus. But of course, it's not just Boeing and Airbus.
Yeah.
So we touched on ATR earlier. They got the 2 for Ethiopian. Embraer. I was at an Embraer press conference on Monday. An order for 4 E175s from Air Côte d'Ivoire. Interesting, that's the E175 E1. So the first generation is still selling well in Africa. Embraer were keen to say that it still fills a niche in that market. And then Helvetic Airways, a firm order for 3 E195 E2s. Yeah. So strong sales there again for Embraer.
Yeah, I mean we had an update. I was there, an update from Embraer, and also talking about the obviously Pratt & Whitney have had engines, GTS have had some issues, well known, that the airlines have been struggling with, but they seem to sort of say that they were over the hump. The worst was behind them, and they was actually now kind of delivering, partly due to the fact that the kind of E2 is quite light.
Yes.
So it's not being pushed as hard as maybe.
And not to be left out, we have on Canada 10 aircraft ordered by India One. A regional airline in India. So their letter of intent to buy 10 Twin Otters. So again, we saw at Paris the Twin Otter, the new generation, the 300G. The Twin Otter now, 50-year-old aeroplane. It's got to be, isn't it? Yeah. But renovate new avionics. There's not much can do the same job as a Twin Otter 50 years down the line.
Unless it's an amphibian. We'll get to that later.
Good point.
But we also, it's not just about the aircraft themselves. There's also lots of ancillary orders, agreements, like IFE and seating, cabins, things that make up, one airliner.
A lot of that was a show led by Emirates. I mean, Emirates have been going through a fleet renovation program for a while. Announced at the show they're extending that to another 111 aircraft, so 60 A380s, and 51 777s going to be put through that program. New cabins, including Starlink.
Yeah, that was the big news as well for IFE kind of connectivity, is that Emirates has signed up for SpaceX Starlink. Ultra high fast broadband from space.
And they're rolling that out on all 232 aircraft. The first one's on, and it's going to enter service next week. So it's that imminent, isn't it?
Emirates keeping ahead of the competition once again. And also seats locally.
Absolutely, so Emirates signed a deal with Safran, or an MOU with Safran, to create a seat manufacturing and refurbishment facility here in Dubai. So it just shows that these projects are bigger than just the area. There are lots of knock-on companies and suppliers that all benefit from these big programs.
And also, seats have been obviously a big bottleneck in wide bodies. The OEMs have been having problems. Airlines have been getting kind of frustrated about it in getting enough seats. Part of the kind of global supply chain crunch sort of since COVID. And it's one of those things with seats. But every airline wants to customise. Every airline wants to have their own interiors, and that's where the sort of delays come in and kind of fighting to get seats.
Well, one of the companies that have got into this market is a company called Explicit. So they were at the show. They signed a deal with the Kuwaiti low-cost carrier Jazeera Airways, and they're actually using what they call their Thai Seat 2X, which is a very, very lightweight seat. So not custom, not made specifically for the airline. It's an off-the-shelf, cheap product, light product that they can put straight in. Reduces the supply chain woes, as it were. But also, being a lightweight seat, it means they can carry more passengers.
Oh,
so it's actually, they reckon they can increase their A321s from 162 passengers to 180 with these lightweight seats. So we come to these shows and we often think it's all about the aeroplanes and sometimes the engines, but there's so much more, like say IFE, seats, catering.
I mean, IFE is the second, after the engines, is the second biggest cost for the, on a commercial airline.
And Etihad have got in on that as well.
Yeah.
So Etihad have done signed a deal with Viasat to deploy their Amara Wi-Fi across their fleet. So it's not just Emirates getting in on updated Wi-Fi. Flying home fairly soon. I should be looking forward to a bit of Wi-Fi to catch up on emails and getting the magazine to print. I think is what I'll be doing on the flight home. Seems we're going to print fairly quick.
And what's been happening on defence?
That's your world.
Right, okay, so defence for the show. Not so much massive orders that we see in the commercial world. The procurement takes to take a bit longer, and it's all dictated by geostrategic reasons. And
you don't get the big showy announcements that you get with the airline orders, do you?
But we did get some interesting news at the show. Caladius Barda 250 light attack was rolled out. That's a light attack.
Single engine turboprop. Turboprop.
It's composite. It's multi-mission, and it got roles such as trainer, light attack, ISR, being pitched at those sort of missions worldwide, and it's been developed in
the UAE.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
So really an interesting aircraft, and family of aircraft they've got now. But there's the latest one, the light attack.
And it flew in the flying display. And it's an impressive little aeroplane, isn't it? It really does perform well. We've seen lots of drone news over the course of this week. I mean, one that stood out with me was a Ukrainian company here called Skyfall. They're obviously quite cagey on the performance of what they're producing because it's in active service right now in their home nation. But they're producing something called the Vampire. It's a 6-motor, it's a hexacopter, and it's a drone bomber. And they say it's been responsible for 2/3 of all drone missions against Russia since it entered service in 2023. Flies mostly at night, which is what's called the Vampire. And they're also working on a high-speed anti-Shahed drone killer as well, which is called the P1 Sun. So they've got the Sun and they've got the Vampire. I'm not sure how the two of those work together, really.
Well, talking of Russia, we also had the Su-57 in the flying display as well as the F-35. So it's stealth going head-to-head at the air show, which was pretty rare.
It's the first time that Su-57's opened its weapons bay, isn't it, in public? So.
And F-35, Lockheed Martin F-35, also in the news this week outside the show, but in a regional context, in an agreement, at the top level. I mean, you can't get any higher than that. US is going to be able to sell F-35 to Saudi Arabia. Now, how that pans out, it still remains to be seen, but it could unlock further sales opportunities for the F-35 in the region. About 4 years ago, the Russians came here with a concept, Su-75 Checkmate, which was kind of like aimed at a single engined stealth fighter. I mean, it was basically aimed at nations who weren't allowed to buy the F-35. That's not here this year, but there's an uncrewed version.
There's a mock-up in the Russian pavilion of what looks suspiciously like a Checkmate in an uncrewed version. And interestingly, the Russians have announced new military engine as well, which they think would be potentially for upgrading for the Su-57. But they also mentioned the Su-75 as a possible use for that engine. So perhaps whether that's for the uncrewed version or maybe there's still development plans for a crewed version. It's difficult to tell, but there's certainly news coming out of that.
And we did have some procurement news as well. Royal Moroccan Air Force has signed a contract with Airbus helicopters for 10 H225Ms. So they're going to replace the nation's existing Pumas.
And the UAE military have also ordered an Embraer Praetor business jet, probably for government transport work, I would think. But the only two sort of hard military sales that have been announced. Although there was also talk of an MOU for Cranfield Aerospace Solutions. Our old friends at Cranfield, working on a new hydrogen fuel cell powered UAV. I saw this. Did you see this? I saw this in mock-up form. It's an 18-foot span blended wing body with twin booms like a de Havilland Vampire. They call it the Stingray, the ST5 Stingray. Going to be used for surveillance, cargo, search and rescue, that type of thing. And they reckon they've signed an MOU with an unnamed maritime surveillance company. The first delivery is in 2027.
Okay. But that's also for kind of scientific research, isn't it? Something to do with the Arctic and climate change as well. So it's
many uses.
Okay. On the GA and business aviation, Steve, that's your patch.
Do I get to talk about general aviation?
Yet again.
There's actually not much to talk about, to be honest.
Not surprised.
The GA industry has its own shows. There's Oshkosh, there's Aero Friedrichshafen, Sun and Fun, those sort of things, where the big announcements tend to be made in the light aircraft world. There are a number of light aircraft here. We have the Bristol IFR, which is the Belgian ultralight. That's the IFR, that's the flight training version. Junkers were here with their A60. You were quite taken with the Junkers, weren't you?
I did, the modern vintage retro.
So this was based on we actually did a short video on this, based on a 1930s German interwar period aeroplane, the Junkers A60. Now it's got a nose wheel, it's got an enclosed cabin, but it's still got that corrugated Junkers wings and fuselage.
And parked right next door to the F-35.
To the F-35. Talk about a juxtaposition.
Yeah.
And then you've got Cirrus and Diamond and the usual players, lots of biz jets, but no hard news from GA at the show.
Well, I disagree slightly there. We had Bristow had committed to 5 Airbus helicopter H160s for offshore work.
I would question whether that's general aviation.
Business aviation? Oil and gas?
Tim and I have an ongoing debate about what is actually GA, and we rarely agree on this. But yeah, Bristow did buy some helicopters. I agree with that.
And we also saw the H160 as well in RAeS colours.
Yes.
Now that's are being operated by Saudi Arabia's the helicopter company.
Okay.
But they've got a partnership now with RAeS as the new Saudi Arabian carrier. It's now doing. It's now kind of started services, but just for company members of the company.
Okay, yeah.
And that's going to be like a VIP corporate shuttle. Luxury all the way with that.
Well, of course it will be. Yeah. Advanced air mobility. You spent some time with Joby, didn't you?
I spent some time with Joby. Joby was in the flying display, and wow, that was pretty special. One comment from the chalet, because it was so quiet, was somebody said, "Not hearing is believing."
I like that. I think I might have to use that in an article sometime. That's really good.
But also quite manoeuvrable.
Oh yeah, it really went. We saw a volocopter at Paris a couple of years ago, and it sort of, I don't know, it sounded unkind, but kind of potted around the sky a little bit. Joby was quite a manoeuvrable aircraft. It was quite a high angle of bank. I was very impressed actually.
Well, it was flown by an ex-F-35B and ex-Harrier pilot.
That might explain it then, I guess.
And it uses the same control rules as the F-35B. Which goes back to the Vark Harrier. If you know your history, John Farley. There is that British.
The lineage of VTOL carries on, doesn't it?
But really super quiet. And I think what's interesting there is people being able to see it in public, and also people to experience how quiet it is. At a public air show and go. And it even caught one of the Joby execs out when they were talking to the press, because he didn't know he was displaying.
It was so quiet.
It was behind him, so I had to point it out.
Speaks volumes, doesn't it? And it's about putting the vehicles in front of the public so they can see them. It's a hearts and minds exercise at the moment. I did a piece of camera earlier on today, which I'm sure will be published at some point in the video, with Lyft. A single seat eVTOL, which it falls in the US. It falls under the Part 103 ultralight category, so they can't sell them, do passenger rides or anything. But they're using them for flight experiences. You can actually go and have an hour's training, and they geofence it, and you can fly around it. But it's about getting them in front of the public, so once they start to see them in the sky, it doesn't come as a shock that these things are flying over them. They're quiet. It's getting rid of the NIMBY element of it, isn't it? But
what's also surprising I found from the show is we've seen some casualties in the AM sphere. People doing VTOL stuff, people doing fixed wing. but there's still people, new people kind of new companies getting into it. So we had Autograph there from China. We had LOD.
LOD was interesting.
And Honda.
Yeah. Well, we'll start with LOD. I thought that was particularly interesting. They have something called Hilly, which is a hybrid electric autonomous cargo drone. So this is not pure electric. But they flew that 3 days before the show.
Yes.
And again, you keep getting these new products. And I've walked around the show for the last 3 days, and there are a number of mock-ups, small scale. I'd like to buy an eVTOL on a stand somewhere, and they're probably never going to get beyond that stage. And then you suddenly get something like LOD, where they've flown the thing before the show. So that's going to be interesting to follow them. And as you say, Honda. Well, the big boys are getting involved.
Well, the big boys are getting involved with Honda. They're looking at hybrid electric. Their propulsion system leverages their experience in F1. They've also got their Honda, so they build cars, so they can scale up production. No problem with that. But they're taking a more cautious approach. They think the infrastructure isn't quite there. They say the 2030s is going to be the perfect time for eVTOLs. Well, they're laying the groundwork now. They're getting ready. It's a concept they've unveiled at the show rather than a production vehicle. What else have we got in?
Well, you talked about the logistics there. I mean, it's the vertiports, it's the regulation, it's the things that aren't the infrastructure that aren't quite there yet. So Skyport's made an announcement, and they're developing a vertiport network in Abu Dhabi, and Joby as well. Announced the development of 3 vertiports here in Dubai. So one at the Dubai Mall, one at the Atlantis, the Royal, and one at the American University in Dubai. So getting into the actual, you realise you need that infrastructure in place before you can get the product into service. And we're seeing lots of development in the UAE and the wider region here. So we've got Joby testing, we've got Archer testing, we've got Autocraft. I asked Autocraft why they wanted to test here in Dubai, and they said the simple phrase, what they referred to the government here and the regulator as making things go fast. There aren't any hold-ups, there's no red tape, there's an eagerness to get products into service. And they also pointed out, it's hot, it's humid, it's dusty and sandy. If you can certify a product here, chances are you're probably going to certify anywhere if that's less hot, less humid, and less dusty.
And that was echoed in terms of talking to Joby as well. Because some of the questions were there were about dust, sand, heat, etc., and these are things that they're already addressing. They've already thought of this stuff, and their opinion is if you can do it here, you can then, you can do it.
You can roll it out.
You've done a lot of the tough work, in terms of extreme environments.
But talking about electric propulsion, you saw the guys ejector, didn't you?
Yeah, so the ejector, they are, well, there's no one there as well, but the ejector, they're bringing amphibians back in the 21st century. So it's an electric, small aircraft, amphibian, and it's got distributed propulsion. And what you can do with distributed propulsion is, you've got redundancy. You've got stall performance, and also once on the water, you can sort of turn within your own length. You can turn on the spot.
You can put something to reverse, something to forward, and you literally turn on the spot.
And you can even back up. You can even reverse. So if you think about, if you've ever seen footage of sort of seaplanes kind of docking and
it was a bit of an art.
So it's a bit of that. And also at the show we had Regent Sea Gliders.
Wing and ground effect. Ecranoplan. Word of the day, Ecranoplan.
Yeah, which is technically a vessel. So it goes under International Maritime Organization rules rather than IARCO, but it had a great mock-up there. 12-passenger kind of fast ferry, wing and ground effect vehicle, and we came away with one. There's massive headroom, and 2, there's huge big windows you can see as well to see the water skim past.
I came away with seasickness. I tell you what, they've got the sea projected on the floor underneath this thing moving around. You've got motion sickness. It was really not a stand to go to.
But also interestingly, Regent were also looking at defence applications for the Sea Glider as well. They're pitching it to kind of US military, Indo-Pacific, but that's also something that came out earlier in the one AAM forum I was in the kind of Europe is now going is now saying, well, what about the defence applications? the war in Ukraine is still going on, and they were talking about what can we leverage out of the AAM or eVTOLs. And one thing here, Joe B, just before the show started, they'd flown their first hybrid electric version. Autonomous vehicle aimed at military applications.
We're seeing a huge amount of crossover here, and I guess there's also a huge amount of money around there for investment from military arms, from government arms, that's going to have that knock-on effect in getting the advanced air mobility market started.
But if you think about an autonomous eVTOL or autonomous hybrid electric eVTOL, and you think about some of the missions there as a collaborative combat aircraft for attack helicopters, that's where the kind of thinking is going, or autonomous logistics. Okay, and it's not just an air show, is it? It's a space show.
We walk around the show, we look at all this hardware that's out on the ramp, and it's easy to forget that there is an enormous space pavilion. I went to a really interesting conference actually on Tuesday, I think it was, which was attended by Chris Whitehorn from the UK Space Agency, called Forging New Frontiers Through Global Partnerships. And it really was global. So Chris was there. He was joined by the Director General, and the Deputy CEO of the United Arab Emirates Space Agency, and also the Chief Strategy Officer of France's CNES Space Agency. Chris made the point that space used to be a nice thing to have. It's fundamental to life. We could not do our jobs. We couldn't be doing this podcast and video cast for you now if we didn't have access to satellites. So we've got the opportunity here. It's still in the early days of moving to the moon, in terms of having a lunar economy, things like that. So by working together as an international community, we can do it properly. And he asked the question, which side of the road are we going to drive on Mars? Because you fly around the world, and some people drive on the left, some people drive on the right. We're packed for an international trip, and you go, well, what plug adapter do I need? We've got the opportunity to, if we work together, we can standardise this and actually create something that works for everybody.
Even in orbit right now, standardised docking ports.
Yes.
For rescue, people talking about private space stations. You want to be able to kind of launch and get people back. We had obviously there's well-known issues with Starliner. And we had the Chinese just returned people there, and they had a bit of space. But they were lucky enough to have a rescue rescue module, kind of capsule on the pad ready to go. So I think standardisation of space and commercialisation of space, and that's one of the other things I found out with. There was an agreement there about. Like the AAM, this is such a vibrant place for startups, innovation, tech, and forward-looking. And there's an agreement there involving RAe, the Swiss insurers, to help small space startups get over the valley of death into commercialising their products. Something that's really badly.
So they're basically underwriting that stage.
Well, it's a sort of innovation, sort of incubation kind of agreement. Okay. But really, in cooperation with having been a Rashid Space Centre. And just to sort of help some of these small firms and really kind of get stuff into production.
We've seen in the UK alone. I mean, there are so many small companies with great ideas that don't have that financial support and wherewithal and skill sets and staffing to get them through to the production stage. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they were a really fascinating talk I had there with someone from the Space Centre. Was about analog astronauts or analog astronaut training. Ooh. So that is training for long duration space flights. And putting people into isolation in crews, and
so this is not actually going into space. This is simulating
space. So 8 months in a sealed environment, and you're studied there as to how crews cope, and what are the kind of psychological stresses on the cruise. So. And they were saying that the biggest challenge to long duration spaceflight is going to be for astronauts is going to be mental health. So taking time out, mindfulness, and to that end, they've already done kind of cooperation with Russian. They've had people go to
Star City,
NASA, Germany for DLR, and now they're going to be building and developing their own analog astronaut sort of facility.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. Right.
I reckon that's us done for this section.
Right, okay, and we're now going to go over to our president.
Who's back at the show, still back at the show.
Back at the show.
We've left him there while we've come back to the hotel, it's fine. He'll be fine.
RAeS president, Alisidair Wood, and he's going to tell us all about his highlights. Back in a mo. Hi, I'm Tim Robinson, Editor-in-Chief of Aerospace Magazine, the Royal Aeronautical Society, here at the 2025 Dubai Airshow, and with me here is our current president, Alisidair Wood.
Hello.
Welcome, Alisidair.
Thank you.
So we're now. This is sort of Wednesday of the show, and what have the highlights been so far for you?
There are many and very varied. Just like to pick out a few that have really struck me. The battle of the heavyweights, the A350-1000 and the Boeing 777X.
Yeah.
Their flying displays
Yeah,
were
yeah,
tremendous.
Yeah.
Both aircraft defy gravity.
Yeah.
Showing the aerodynamics and the fly-by-wire systems has been outstanding, and seeing some of the manoeuvres they've been performing, absolutely awe-inspiring.
And also we had the parade of the 40 years of Emirates as well, with the airliners all coming in sequence. I mean, that's something you don't see very often as well.
No, and yeah, absolute delight to watch. Also noting how quiet they are.
Yes.
And that stood out for me. Probably because, to contrast that, we had the battle of the fighter aircraft.
Yeah.
Sukhoi 57 being displayed, along with the F-35. Again, two fantastic displays showing the manoeuvrability and what those aircraft can do. And they certainly killed any conversation inside the exhibit hall as well, as they lit up the afterburners and did their displays.
And I think this is only the second time they've been on the same, kind of in the same air show.
Yes.
It's a real meet, a melting pot of people from, everybody from around the world, isn't it?
It is. And it's very noticeable here this week how very strong Russian presence, very strong Chinese presence, and that is something that I've really noticed going around the exhibit halls. Also, really interesting to see the eVTOL products maturing. Many companies here exhibiting their products. Great to see the Joby fly, and also transition from helicopter mode into fixed forward wing mode. Really interesting display. That somewhat slower, much quieter than the previous ones, but yeah, it just shows how that technology is starting to mature, and the optimism from those companies as they start to get into full certification and those programs. Very optimistic outlook, very exciting outlook for those.
And I mean, it's unbelievably quiet. I think the loudest thing was APUs running and generators running in the down on the ground in the static line.
Yeah.
You couldn't kind of hear it at all.
Yeah, and that's really encouraging for the urban environment, which noise was always going to be one of the key issues in the urban area, and they were very quiet.
And there's also new companies as well here at the show that are getting into advanced air mobility, and Honda are here. Yeah. There's Autocraft, I think, as well. A new kind of a locally developed kind of cargo drone.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's still very dynamic, isn't it?
It is, and a very exciting sector, which is evolving rapidly.
Yeah.
And you're right. I was quite surprised by how many players I hadn't seen or heard of before getting involved in this area. So no doubt they've used the show to launch onto the international stage.
Brilliant, yeah.
Also, I mean, it feeds very nicely into the innovation where we're sat at the moment, the innovation zone. And again, just seeing the number of startups, small companies, really coming out with some high-tech innovation that again is starting to break onto the market. Very interesting to see, and just the numbers of them and the sectors that they're looking to get into.
And it's not just aviation as well. I mean, where we're filming, we've got a full-scale mock-up of the asteroid, UEA
UAE Space Agency asteroid probe.
Yes.
So it's space as well as AI, advanced air mobility, drones, you name it.
Yes, and space is here, loud and clear. So yes, it's been very interesting going around the innovation and seeing all these companies come in and having good conversations with them, and they are really committed to what they're doing, and that's really good to see. They feel they're onto good products, good gaps in the market, and wish them very success as they develop their products.
So you've obviously been in the industry a while and been to many an air show. Are you surprised that every time you go to an air show, whether it's here, whether it's Farnborough, whether it's Paris, at just how big the industry is, and just how there's new companies there that you've never seen every year, and that are SMEs that are from all around the world that make up this industry.
Absolutely. And there are so many SMEs out there. It is interesting because having gone round, particularly this year, a number of the things like Riyadh, Desi, Dubai, there are familiar patterns developing.
Yeah.
But in a lot of cases with different players.
Okay.
So yes, some different companies coming along. A lot of them are sort of variations on the same theme, but it looks like they're actually found a niche in the market.
Right.
That they're looking to plug. Yes, and it looks really interesting. Yeah. And also on the, as you mentioned, it's not just the aerospace side of it. There's also the ground element.
Yes, yeah.
So a lot here on the eVTOL ports, sky ports as they're calling them, working out the ATM elements of it and the technology required for that.
Yeah, and also in this, I think in this section as well, we've also got training as well, and pilot training and kind of training of maintenance crews, cabin crew training, the whole. I mean, it's
the whole ecosystem that needs to go around the actual flying product.
Yeah. So something for everyone, really. If you're interested in aerospace and you're thinking of a career in aviation, it's not just being about a pilot. There's everything from air law to ATM to human factors, flight test engineers.
Yes.
It's a great place, a great industry to get involved in.
It is. Another highlight of the week was the visit up to the Emirates HQ up in the north of the city, up by the international airport, and delighted to be shown around their new network control centre.
Oh wow!
Brand new facility. That was incredibly impressive.
Okay.
And also not only the facility itself, is how they will operate coming into the new facility, and really looking after us passengers around the world, and making sure that their products are what we expect them to be.
So the network control facility. This is like mission control. It's
basically their ops centre.
Yeah. Okay.
In common parlance. So it's looking at everything from is the catering getting to the aircraft on time, fuel, air crew obviously.
Yeah.
Without a pilot, you're not going anywhere. The actual aircraft itself, are they pushing back the aircraft on time? To have a driver for the pushback?
Wow. Okay.
It's that whole sequence of events that needs to happen to get us to our destinations.
Wow.
With our bags.
So big screens and kind of
lots of screens. but it's not so much the screens. Anyone can put a screen up on a wall.
Yeah.
It's the information that you post on it.
Yeah.
And particularly using analytics and AI, etc., to show you when something's not right.
You're right. Okay.
And the adopting a dark cockpit philosophy. So if everything's fine, nothing to see. When things start going a little awry, catch it early and flag it up.
Right.
And so that whole sort of methodology is very interesting to see.
So AI really, and that kind of machine learning and predictive. Yeah, I mean that was one of the key themes that came out of your People in Aerospace conference as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Of AI and how
was.
that might transform aerospace.
And using it very productively.
Yeah.
And using it in a way to mine data that the human couldn't do.
Yeah.
Just through the volume of data, and making links that the human couldn't find. So, you know, an example given, if an aircraft is consistently being pushed back late, why is that being pushed back late? What's the feature that created that? And it's links we might not see.
Yeah.
But that analytics behind the scenes, and constantly refining.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a delight to see.
So Emirates again at the leading edge of innovation there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other highlights?
Too many to mention, I'm afraid. Well, in which case there would be highlights, wouldn't there? But yeah, it's just been, you know, absolutely fantastic few days, awe-inspiring in a lot of areas. I think it'd be unfair to start mentioning individual companies and the startups, because there have just been so many of them. So many great conversations, so many people who are really passionate about what they do, and are keen to develop their products and share that passion.
Yeah. So we have one more highlight to come, haven't we, for you? Because you are giving the Sir Maurice Flanagan lecture at our local branch here.
Yes, yeah. It was great to meet the local branch chair, Carl Holt, earlier in the week, who hosted me up at Emirates. Very much looking forward to delivering the lecture tomorrow evening. Looking at the future of rotorcraft, or vertical lift. Let's not be too precise on rotorcraft, on vertical lift.
Okay.
And what some of the defining elements in the near future will be.
Okay, so that's happening if you're still around here and you're in Dubai on tomorrow. That's Thursday, 20th of November. 7 p.m. It's free to attend, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And it's going to be a standout lecture. Really looking forward to that with our local branch. A bit of networking and going on there at the Emirates Training Centre. I think it's Auditorium A.
I can't remember which auditorium, but the training centre.
The Emirates Training Centre. If you go on the Aero Society website, you look at our events page. There's a detailed. We've got a rolling diary. You can have a look there, and it'll give you the directions. But it's free to attend, and it's going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to hearing about the future of vertical lift.
Yeah. Looking forward to delivering it.
Okay. Alistair, it's been brilliant. It's been absolutely fantastic to have you on the podcast, and to see you at the show as well, and to meet all these fantastic kind of companies.
I've very much enjoyed both the show and your company, so thank you very much to you as well.
No problem.
Okay, well that was the President's highlights.
What about, go on, Editor-in-Chief, what were your highlights on the show? Start with you on.
One of my highlights was the opportunity to see almost the entire United Arab Emirates Air Force out in one formation.
They really did come out in force, didn't they?
You know, you look at other flight paths of other countries around the world, naming no names, but this had fighters, tankers, transport aircraft,
the world supply of helicopters.
You name it. Chinooks, Apaches, everything all in one go. It seemed. I mean, it just kept coming.
So that was the opening fly past on the opening morning of the show.
And we had a special surprise also, didn't we?
We did. So the last section of the fly past, although they arrived from behind the crowd rather than at the back of the formation itself, was Farzan Al Alimati, which is the national team. This took us all by surprise. Yeah. We, including us. We posted our preview blog on Friday before the show, and we got a fantastic photograph of the team flying their Air Macchi MB339. And we got news that during the validation on Friday, the team had turned up with their brand new aeroplane, which is the Hongdu L-15. We knew they'd ordered them. Yeah. We were expecting them to be in service around 2027. They'd had them. They'd painted them. They practiced in secret and turned up at the show for the validation and rehearsals with the team. Yeah. And
amazing display, but also amazing sound.
It's the howling Hongdu, isn't it? It's got almost For those of you who remember the Hunter, it's got a blue note to it, a real whine, a bit like a P-51 Mustang with a gun port.
There's no mistaking it.
We don't know whether that comes from the engine, because I spoke to a colleague who'd seen the aeroplanes out in China, the Chinese ones, and he said they don't make that noise. So it's the same engine, so all I can assume is that maybe it's the smoke pod or something that changed on the airframe. But it makes a fantastic sound, and a really, really good display, especially against the blue sky here in Dubai. That's probably my top highlight.
It blew everybody away, I think. I mean, the other one that at the other end of the scale in terms of kind of noise was the Joby. I mean, a lack of noise.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier. It's,
but also coming to a kind of hover stop and showing just how nimble it was. I mean, I didn't expect, like I say, we didn't expect it to be that nimble, that manoeuvrable. Talking to the test pilot, there's fly-by-wire on it. There's a 60% 60-degree bank angle limit on it, but you can kind of throw it around a little bit, and so it was doing stuff that maybe you wouldn't do with passengers. Unless you really wanted to
spill the gin and tonics in the back.
Spill the gin and tonics in the back, but it was nice to see it there, and also so people to sort of see how quiet it was. Just again, looking at it out at it to there, and it's just the APUs and things running, generators running in the air show, or people talking.
And you just couldn't hear it. No, absolutely. One of the other aircraft that I was particularly following before the show, quite literally following on flight trackers.
You were stalking it?
I was stalking on Instagram. The new Chinese training aeroplane, the Zhongke T20, which took 4 days to get here. They were just besetted with terrible weather en route, and they got here on Monday night. This thing is, if anybody remembers the Diamond Dart 450, which was around about 10 years ago, turboprop trainer. China acquired a couple of those. Diamond has a factory now in China, as we know. The Zhongke T20 is based on the Dart 450, same engine. Changing avionics. We've actually done a separate video on this, which I'm sure you'll find on our YouTube channel, but which goes into far more depth than we do now, including an interview with the test pilot. But they've got a mix of Chinese avionics in it and Garmin avionics at the moment, because they're looking to get this produced in the UAE for the export market. So of course, Diamond, it was designed to EASA certification, and that gives it, they think, a real foot in the door in terms of getting for the export market.
So with that and the Barda 250, there's a I mean, that's a nice sort of people getting into the military aviation industry with these small light trainer attack turboprops.
And again, as you'll hear on the video if you listen to it, there's sufficient room in the fuselage of this thing, so they're looking for ISR, actually get everything can retract into the aircraft unless it's actually being used. So you actually deploy when needed, and it can be used for everything from basic training, they call it selection training, so you're getting your cadets to see who's actually got the aptitude, right their way up to advanced pilot training and an ISR mission from a single airframe.
Brilliant. The other thing we had in the flying display, which I hadn't seen before at an air show in person, at least, is a nighttime drone display.
Yeah, that was good.
So throughout the week, the air show's been doing sort of these evening events, just to sort of like, I don't know, make things kind of extend the social networking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Social networking, and so we've had things like a party on the runway. One morning there was golf. Well, no, golf in the.
There was golf in the. There was a 5K run down the runway one.
Yeah,
I was busy for that. I couldn't do that one, unfortunately.
But also a evening, the evening show on the static line, and drones displaying in the air show, and with suitably appropriate patterns in the sky. The right flyer.
Drones for formations or patterns? I'm not sure.
Formation.
Yeah, with the right flyer, didn't we? We had
spatial F-16.
F-16
satellites.
Yeah, it was really good actually. Yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed that. I'm going to pick a general aviation because I couldn't really talk about anything new. You knew that, didn't you? You knew that was coming. And again, it's something we did a separate video on, so I'm sure you can find it on our YouTube channel. The Gamebird GB1.
It looks excellent.
It's fantastic. I've seen these aircraft fly in the UK, and I've seen Philip Steinbach, the designer, fly it in the US, and it's a phenomenal. It flies complicated, complex aerobatic manoeuvres slowly. You're used to seeing an extra or something whizzing around the sky. This does it all very gracefully, but still does the really intense gyroscopic manoeuvres. but the aircraft that's at the show is not being used for that.
Yeah,
It actually belongs to they're one of a pair that belongs to Emirates Flight Training Academy here in Dubai, and they're part of their training fleet for their cadet pilots.
For recovery.
For upset and recovery training. So you will come through now as a cadet pilot. You'll fly the Cirrus to get your training. Then you'll go into the Diamond Twin Staff, your multi-engine, the Embraer Phenom onto the jet, and then all the cadets now get 5 hours in the Gamebird for upset recovery training to recovering from unusual attitudes. A really good use for an incredible aeroplane.
Brilliant. And I suppose my final highlight for this is just the sheer international scope and a melting pot of the global aerospace industry. You can see here that it is very, very rare. So we've got people here at this show from Russia, China, US, Europe, India,
Pakistan,
Ukraine, all in one place, which gives it that kind of real a global feel and something that you don't really get at many other air shows.
No, not at all.
It's just and just sort of going there and sort of seeing the scale and just size of the global aerospace industry, even though it is a smaller show than Farnborough or Paris.
It didn't feel it.
No.
My feet are telling me it was not a smaller show. My final highlight: Emirates 40th anniversary. So going back to that opening fly past. After the half of the United Arab Emirates Air Force flew past, we then had an Emirates A380, an Emirates 777, an Emirates A350, and then nice gesture following it, Etihad. And Fly Dubai. So a cavalcade of airlines. Where else do you see a cavalcade of airlines? And a really nice tribute to the airline, which, as we all know, is marking its 40th anniversary this year.
Excellent. And also, I suppose we must sort of say it's an opportunity to catch up with friends, colleagues. I mean, this is what makes this business.
It is. That's why I love coming to events like that. There are a lot of people, be they other journalists or the PR people, the company execs, who we only get to meet maybe 2 or 3 times a year at shows like this. It's really, and that's why it's vital that industry supports events like this and comes out. And it's
you can't do it virtually.
You can't do that networking. You can't do other than face to face. And as you said with the evening events, that's where a lot of the network's doing. People are very busy during the day. You might get 5 minutes with somebody, but you'll then meet them walking down where the aircraft are all floodlit at night, and that's when you have a proper conversation. So,
but talking to also somebody earlier this week who'd been in another industry as well, and they said they remarked on something along the lines. I might be paraphrasing here. This industry is nothing like anything else I've been in where you're at an air show where you've got the products flying in there and. They're in the skies. It's not just like a tech exhibition in a soulless conference hall or sort of like plumbing expo or sort of Baths 2025.
If anyone knows, I could do with a good plumber right now.
But you've got these aircraft in the sky that inspire people, and whatever age you are, you inspire them.
And you're right, and hopefully through our content this week you've seen some of that. We've made a shift this show to putting out a lot more video content. Hope you've enjoyed what we've done with that.
And a big thanks to the person here you can't see. Big thanks to Roy, our digital video producer and all-round
social media guru,
social media whiz. He's been making us look absolutely awesome and look like we know what we're talking about.
It's a tough job, but he's managed it. I'm sure he has. Thank you, Roy, and thank you for everyone who's watched. But if you've got feedback, let us know. We'd love to know whether you like it, what we could do differently, whether you want just Tim, just me, just saying, or how it works. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. Do let us know on whether you like this sort of content going forward, and we'll see you at the next air show. Take care, and that swimming pool over there looks really tempting. Enjoy. See you soon.
Bye.